Welcome back to the Racial Draft Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Ford, not joined by regular guests and regular delegations, but we are joined by a first-time guest, Jared Kirschenbaum from Murphy's Multiverse. Say what's up to the people, Jared.
What's up to the people, Jared? Hello, everyone. That was awful. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I'm Jared. Thank you so much for having me, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Also, let the people know a little bit about you. Let your where they can find your work, where they can find your social media. I'm sure we'll do it again at the end, but you want to give people who have no attention span the opportunity to follow you and get right on your page.
So I'm like fairly new. I mean, not crazy new, but like don't have a large Twitter following. So if you could follow me on Twitter at Jared Kirschenbaum, KIRSCHENBAUM. That's what I am on most platforms, Twitter.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're a big proponent of geek culture.
Mm-hmm. A huge Marvel guy. I mean, I've been collecting comics for a very long time, but I feel like the MCU has really been there for me in a lot of dark moments of my life, and so
you're more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy then?
More of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, though I do need to be equal, need to spread the love.
Okay, all right. Well, as and maybe for the listeners, what we do is change the complexion of the comic book universe one draft pick at a time via the racial draft. However, this week, we're going to talk more about nerd news because it is Comic-Con weekend. San Diego Comic-Con, Hall H, so many lines, so much crud, so much news, so many shenanigans. And I feel like we should just dive in. What would you say? We'll put the Marvel of it all because I think a lot of us would say the Marvel was the big winner of the weekend. So non-Marvel, what would you say was the biggest, your biggest and most exciting story coming out of Comic-Con?
So non-Marvel, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I mean, the first Shazam movie is slept on.
For sure.
It is really good. For me, the first Shazam movie really captured the goofiness of the Captain Marvel comics
from back in the day. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But it had a certain spirit to it that Marvel wasn't even able to capture at the time. It was really the first of its kind for me. And I mean, the second one it's hitting all the right notes for me. Introducing dragons, personally for me, a huge, the first Wonder Woman movie is probably my favorite DCU movie.
Okay.
But they really missed out on including a lot of the Greek gods.
Yeah.
All of that Greek mythology. So it seems like they're kind of taking that missed opportunity and doing it here a little.
I almost hope, maybe I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I would have loved a Wonder Woman Shazam crossover in the movies, precisely for that reason, because of the God connection, the mythological connection, and and seeing that character kind of do his hero worship alongside Wonder Woman.
That would have been cool. I like that. The hero, I like that.
Yeah. One thing that I constantly kind of harp on, just and I'm sure the listeners remember, in the post-credit scene of the first Shazam, when they show Superman, instead of showing, hey,
hi, power outage.
Oh no. Well, we are recording right now, so we are joined by Julia Delbel. Julia, say hello.
Hello. If I randomly cut out, it's because there's a power outage, because there's lots of lightning and stuff happening.
So it's only fitting that we talk about lightning and power outage, because we were just in the middle of talking about Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So what did you think of the trailer, the Shazam trailer?
I thought it was good, although most of the time I was watching it, I was thinking of something my friend said, which is that their suits look like they're made of dodgeballs,
Oh,
especially the new ones.
I gotta
Like the
be
new
honest.
ones.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
oh, go ahead, Jared.
Oh,
Oh.
so I everyone loves the suit update. I gotta be honest. I really don't like how they darkened the colors.
Yeah, they always do that. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be grittier this time. Look, we darkened the colors. It's like, no, it was nice and bright before. I mean, the muscles were like kind of obviously fake before. I mean, I guess it was part of
Yeah,
the
they
charm,
were
but
really
like,
rough.
yeah. So now it's like dodgeball suits and they're darker colored. I don't know. I mean, like, it's a very like it feels like a kiddie movie in some ways, in some respects. So it makes
Sure.
sense that you're going with these things, and it's not like that's a bad thing because like kids like these movies, so why not? But yeah.
Yeah, I
thought-
mean,
oh,
I really like the Shazam-ly. You know, I like the reveal in the first movie, and I think that, you know, to the extent that there's a lot of commonalities in terms of Shazam and Superman and some of the other, you know, DC characters, making as a point of differentiation the families of the superheroes from the different backgrounds, you know, that can be fun. Like, you know, they can have a lot of fun with that. Like we were saying right before you got on, it was a little bit disappointing to not get some of the mythology in Wonder Woman. And I still want there to be a Shazam Wonder Woman team up. You know, just like I had hoped that Wonder Woman was the post-credit reveal at the end of Shazam instead of headless Superman. But
Did we talk about Henry Cavill yet?
we have not talked about the Henry Cavill
Or the
fake
lack
news
thereof.
of it all, you know. But
Hey,
let's do it
Matter
now.
because they didn't promise you that.
No one promised you Henry Cavill, guys.
People believe it because it's Deadline, and that's usually a reputable source.
No, but here's the thing. Even Deadline only said that people were talking about it. They did the classic, some people are saying that, you know,
Oh my God.
and I was kind of like, guys, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Do not print an article about Henry Cavill showing up. But people did, and then they had to write an article about how people were disappointed that Henry Cavill didn't show up.
Honestly, I was kind of hoping just to stick it to everyone who believed that he was showing up, and then ended up being disappointed when their ridiculous expectations were not met. That he would show up for the Marvel side, and they would announce him
I did that too.
as Captain Britain, or he would make a good Captain Britain. I know that goes a lot.
I mean, is it just because he's British?
I see it. I usually don't see a lot of the ridiculous fan casting, like the Christoph Waltz 70-year-old white guy as Doctor Doom, the Romani, you know, powerful leader of a nation. But I see it. I do see it.
I suppose. I mean, he can play a lot of big, bulky dudes, you know. It doesn't have to be Captain Britain. But either way, I kind of felt bad because I would like to see him return. I would like to see him back as Superman. You know, that's not my issue. My issue is just that people willed it. They kept talking about it like it was a done deal. And then when it wasn't, I think that there were a lot of people with egg on their face afterwards because of all the speculation that they did, and they were just dead set that it was going to happen, and it did not. It did not.
People do it to themselves.
Yeah, like they kind of played themselves with they were dead set on it happening. I mean, I know it's Deadline and all, but yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, I know. But let's go back to some of the things that actually did happen at San Diego Comic-Con, and I guess let me see. Let's talk about some more trailers. I mean, we don't normally
What have we
talk about.
discussed so far? Because I missed part of this. Thank you.
Oh, we actually had just gotten into it. We're just talking to
Oh, okay.
You know, so let's stay in the DC world and let's talk
Yeah.
about Black Adam. What did you think of the new mini trailer, I guess? I'll start with you, Jared.
It's just not doing it for me. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I The Rock. I mean, he's The Rock. He's great. I like the Jumanji movies. but I just don't. He doesn't. It seems like he's not Black Adam. He's just The Rock in Black Adam playing The Rock.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel very Black Adam-y to me.
Okay. Like, what do you think are the characteristics that are sort of lacking in your imagination in terms of what you think Black Adam should embody?
Well, it's this is a huge problem that I think a lot of the Sony films are actually doing. Black Adam is a villain. He's not an.
Oh, I mean, fair point.
He is probably when I think of just plain old evil DC Comics characters, Black Adam is very close to the top of that list.
But I do think in recent years they've tried to make him more of an anti-hero, especially because of the fact that he leads a nation and he's willing to, in that way, I think they've tried to make him some similar to Dr. Doom, where there's a heroic side to him, or an honorable side to him is what we'll say.
It's honorable, but the concept of the anti-hero is very popular, obviously, nowadays with, Guardians of the Galaxy could be, they're anti-heroes. Deadpool's an anti-hero. So I feel like also you got the Suicide Squad, and I feel like DC is trying to I don't know how much of it is DC and how much of it is just The Rock being as charismatic as he is. Again, it just feels like The Rock for me.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I think that, I think this is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, a lot of these characters wouldn't have much of an appeal as a first instance to mainstream fans. Mm-hmm. So bringing The Rock's star power to bear, I can understand why DC signed him up, and they asked him who he wanted to play. He said he wanted to do Black Adam, and they said, isn't he a Shazam villain? Well, not in my book. We're gonna have to make The Rock, we're gonna have to figure out a way to accommodate The Rock and make Black Adam a standalone hero. And to that end, I'm still keeping an open mind. I agree that he hasn't, that he hasn't sort of blown me away, and I am worried that there's not going to be a lot of depth to his character, but I am intrigued with all the characters around him.
Yes.
I think that the Justice Society, there's something about it was only like 5 seconds of the trailer, but the way Pierce Brosnan sort of like enters the frame as Dr. Fate, like he's bringing all that 007 swagger.
Pierce Brosnan will make this movie for me. He will.
Yeah. Of course, I'm definitely intrigued by Hawkman and whether they're going to reimagine, Hawkman, especially as portrayed by, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the actor.
Aldous Hodge.
Yes, Aldous Hodge. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks for the save. But we've said this, we've covered this on other episodes, the idea of them, maybe making Thanagar some kind of like DC's answer to Wakanda in a lot of ways. I definitely saw a little bit of that in the design of the Thanagarian ship.
Yeah, that one shot was giving me, major Black Panther vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if that's the direction that they want to take Hawkman, I'm at least intrigued to see where it goes. I mean, the other JSA characters I'm not super keen on, but I'm willing to see what they do in that respect. So for me, it's more Black Adam as kind of a Trojan horse for bringing in the JSA.
Yes. The Hawkman movie.
Or like I said, Black Adam and the JSA,
But maybe they should have called it that.
I'm sure The Rock's representation was probably against that. What about you, Julia? Did you have any strong thoughts about the Black Adam trailer?
No, nothing really that strong. I agree with everybody. Like, yeah, this is weird because it's like The Rock just wanted to be in DC, and then it's like, okay, I want to be this, and they're like, okay, so they have to it's The Rock first and Black Adam second. That's
Exactly.
basically what this is. It's like The Rock is in a superhero costume, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how it's going. So, you know, I guess I'm interested. I mean, I'll probably see it. So
Oh, I'm definitely seeing it.
Yeah.
There's
I'll
no
see it. It
question.
just depends if I see it in theaters, but I probably will. I've seen most DC stuff in theaters, so
Yeah. I worry though that he's not going to. I worry that he's going to stay in like a very small box of emoting, and we're not going to get a lot of fluctuation, and it's just going to be all the actors and all the cast members around him doing their thing. Also shout out to Sarah Shahi, who I love. Hopefully she gets a lot to do in this movie as well.
Yeah. She deserves her flowers, but I do agree with you about The Rock. I don't want to hate on The Rock. He's one of the hardest working men in Hollywood, but I wouldn't say he's the greatest actor of all time, and I really hope he blows me away in this movie, but I'm gonna remain cautious at the moment.
Right. I don't think we got a lot of other DC news, right? Nothing Batman. I mean, we got a little bit of DC Comics news. Surprise, surprise! There are new comics coming out that are based around Gotham City. Could you imagine them having a comic that's based around Gotham City, guys? I don't know. I mean, there's a Punchline solo series coming. She being the Joker's girlfriend. There's a Gotham. It's not being called Gotham Central. I think it's called GCPD, The Blue Wall, which is going to be led by. I mean, to be fair, I am excited by the creative team. This is John Ridley, Stefano Raphael. It's going to be led by Renee Montoya. So it again, that's how they get you. It's how they get you. They put all these great people and all these interesting characters, and they set it in Gotham City, and you're right back. And speaking of that, Batman Incorporated, my guy Ghostmaker, getting his series with a whole bunch of different Batmen. So yeah, DC knows what they're doing. A lot of Bat news.
Definitely really excited for the Riddler year. Is that what it's called? Riddler year one?
Yes, and that's being written by Paul Dano. We got some information about that as well. But and of course, even more Bat family news. We got some more information about the Gotham Knights video game, which featured Batgirl. So the shadow of the Bat continues to overshadow a lot of the rest of DC.
right.
But we may as well transition from. We'll stay away from Marvel for a little bit still.
Okay.
Some of the fantasy stuff. I know we don't normally talk about fantasy here, but what did you guys think of the Lord of the Rings trailer, if you did see it?
I haven't seen it, but I'm excited for it. Like, I don't know what the first season's covering, and I haven't finished the books yet, so that's why I didn't watch it yet. But I'm excited for the show.
Yeah, I'm excited for the show. I personally, for me, it was, I wanted to follow like who was going to win the weekend between Lord of the Rings and the new Game of Thrones show.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings won, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I think that a lot of people got it involved in the what's it called? The not Dance of Dragons. The
House of the Dragon.
House of the
Apparently,
Dragon.
I was so bored in that panel though at Hall H. Like, it was not bringing the energy.
Ooh.
Like, I was hearing really bad things about it. Like, so like Lord of the Rings obviously won because like no one was saying like how actively bad it was. So
Okay.
I mean, or maybe they just didn't have much buzz. So maybe they did win for House of the Dragon did win for being bad, like notoriously bad. But I think a lot of people were like falling asleep during that panel. People were saying it's like 30% energy in Hall H.
Yeah, and I heard that someone asked a Morbius question in the House of the Dragons trailer.
Yes, that happened.
Oh.
And then Matt Smith didn't know, like, he was like, okay, they're like, hey, Matt Smith, it's Morbin time. And then they're like, he's like, what?
So yeah,
and then they asked how Morbius would fare in Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's cringe. So you're right. Maybe Lord of the Rings did win the weekend, and maybe I was just focused on the positivity from the from the House of the Dragon trailer, which technically did precede Comic-Con. So
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's a battle that's going to rage throughout the fall. Who
Oh
what's
yeah,
the
this will be
fantasy?
exciting.
It'll be the fantasy version of Marvel versus DC. Lord of the LO LOTR versus GOT.
A war is coming.
Yeah, war is coming. Star Wars had a little piece of news, which was kind of cool. Their new series called The Acolyte finally confirmed what had been rumored for a little while, and that's that Amanda Stenberg will be starring as probably said Acolyte. I believe that's
Oh, I have an interesting rumor about this show, actually.
Okay, what's the rumor?
Kate Herron, who directed Loki,
Mhm.
is apparently maybe in, from a couple different sources, apparently, is like in talks to direct an episode or the whole series or something.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that'd be cool. I love Amanda Stenberg, so I'd be happy to see them team up to do a project together.
Yeah, for sure. I'm guessing it's another 6-episoder. I would love it if it was more, but we'll see. It's this taking place. It's the first live action series that will take place during the High Republic. I don't know, Jared, are you a big Star Wars person? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, I'm not
No,
either.
it's okay.
I like the movies.
I'm a fairly big Star Wars person, but I'm not all the way into the High Republic stuff yet. Mostly because my pockets can't handle all of those books. But this will be a good excuse to get involved, to get into the background reading, the high point of the Jedi Order. And I suppose Amanda's character is going to be one of the early dark side practitioners. So insert joke about black person representing the dark side. Got to do that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it, and it's official. And I don't think we know when the series is supposed to happen. So it's still news coming out of Comic-Con. Now I think that leaves a whole helping of, oh nope, one last piece of DC news, and that is that Harley Quinn's getting a podcast, guys.
Yeah. Who's voicing her?
Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
What did you say, Julia?
Yay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Christina Ricci as Harley, Billy Magnuson, who I'm not familiar with, as Joker, and Justin Hartley as Batman.
Who is Batman?
Justin Hartley from
I know that guy from This Is Us, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Harley Quinn and Joker Sound Mind is still part of the DC Spotify podcast series. Have you guys listened to any of the DC podcasts?
No, I haven't yet. Maybe I should.
What about you, Jared?
Listened to a little bit of Unburied, and I liked what I've heard so far.
Okay.
Only pretty not all that far into it, but it's good.
Yeah, I haven't listened to any of them. I've never listened to a narrative podcast before.
I don't think I have either. It's a weird thing to me. I mean, it's not weird. It's just like not what I'm used to.
Exactly.
But yeah, it makes sense. It's just I don't know why I haven't. Like, I think I tried Welcome to Night Vale way back then when that was like a big thing, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
And
it
there was
feels like
the Local Magic Tavern that I tried because people from Starkid were in it.
it feels like radio to me. It's kind of like, are we going
Like a
backwards?
radio play. That's
Yeah, it's like, are we doing a radio play? Are we back here?
It takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's how I would equate it to, like a radio play or an audio book. Even it's kind of similar to that as well.
Because I know there's like a DC podcast thing with like the some SNL people, and I wanted to listen to that. Like Robin and Harley Quinn, I think, are voiced by people from SNL, and I like them. So yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I mean, Batman Unburied is a hit. So, I'm not mad at it. It's just, it might not be my speed. And technically it's not canon, so I don't have to feel like compelled to listen to it. But yeah, that's the end of our Marvel news. I guess the end of our DC news.
DC.
One little bit of non-Marvel news that I want to sweep that in is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat will be getting a sequel, and the same director who did the first one. So your mileage may vary in that respect. Will be coming back for the second Mortal Kombat movie. Jared, what do you think of the first Mortal Kombat movie?
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. That movie had some wild choices. But
Did that come out this year?
I think it came out last year during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like April 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd watch it. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I mean, I don't even know if I would necessarily. It's fine. It's fine. But the fact that the director was brought on again, I was hoping that they would maybe move to a new vision.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little disappointing. I will probably still watch it. Yeah.
Well, if it comes out on streaming, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Pay for it. I don't think I would have seen it in the theaters, even though I think it made a little under 100 million. In the height of the pandemic, which is pretty good. But I wouldn't have gone out to see it in the theaters, but it was fine as a random Saturday afternoon. Fire up the HBO Max and have it in the background while you eat your breakfast movie.
I agree. Yeah.
Like I could probably do that again for the movie. It wasn't that offensive, but it also it's not something that I would set aside time for.
Yeah, that's about the extent of how much I enjoyed it. I immediately forgot about it, and this is probably the first time I'm thinking about it since originally watching it, except for when the new director was announced, or when the new movie.
Exactly. But I mean, I do feel bad for people who are hardcore Mortal Kombat fans, because we're still waiting for that first video game turned blockbuster that everybody loves. It's been a lot of mixed reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, is this a video game? Dungeons and Dragons? Did you guys see the Dungeons
No,
and Dragons trailer?
It's like a tabletop game.
True. I wasn't sure if they had made a video game version of it.
I don't think so.
Did anyone catch the Dungeons and Dragons trailer?
I did. I was very surprised. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons once in my life. And
I've played it.
So what do you think? What are your experience of?
I mean, I haven't played it that much, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like they have it's different because every game of Dungeons and Dragons is so different, like based on the people playing it and everything. They really make the game. So there's no one Dungeons and Dragons experience that's yes, you got that right. There can be little references to how the game operates, like the characters and stuff. That's all gonna be original. So yeah, you can't really judge it on that. So I don't know.
So what did you think of the trailer overall, Jared?
So I remember when this movie was announced, I couldn't have cared less. But after watching this trailer, I am sold. I mean, Chris Pine is a fantastic leading man. Michelle Rodriguez is, she's great.
Is Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah. Yeah. You got certified handsome man, Reggie Jean Page. In this, he seems like a lot of fun. It just seemed like a really fun time.
I agree.
Again.
Yeah, I think this will be. Wait, no, go. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised this movie wasn't made before this, because Dungeons and Dragons have been around for decades.
Yeah, true, but I think it's been hard to figure out what the right take on Dungeons and Dragons,
They haven't tried it all till now, though.
Wait, say it again.
I'm surprised they haven't even tried it all till now, though. That's surprising.
I think they have tried, though. I just think that this is the first time they've made it past the finish line.
Do we know of this movie? How long this movie's been in development for? Has it been?
I can look.
Well, I know. I mean, I could probably do some research on it, but
okay, it's a movie called Dungeons and Dragons from 2000. So yes, they have done it before. Okay.
Yeah. But Hugh Grant's even gonna be in this.
He seems like he's just playing Phoenix Buchanan again from Paddington 2, which I am all down. I mean, he was in it for 1 second, and I just got the Phoenix Buchanan vibes. So I will be seeing this movie.
I will probably be seeing this movie depending
I
on
probably
what
will.
other movies are coming out that same weekend or right around it. But I think it seems like it'll be a whole lot of fun, and we need fun. We need cinematic fun. So
We definitely do. Like, what else is coming out around this? We got Craven the Hunter allegedly, which that's not going to happen now. Ant-Man and Haunted Mansion is the week after that, and then 2 weeks after Dungeons and Dragons is Aquaman, and then John Wick like the week after that. So like, there's quite a bit. But
wait, so Dungeons and Dragons is dropping this fall?
No, March 3rd.
Oh, okay, got it.
Next year, next winter.
Oh yes, I forgot Aquaman got pushed back. Speaking of things getting pushed back, we have to talk about Sony pushing back Madam Web. As you know, based on my new recurring bit, Madam Web is a movie about a woman who runs an adult sex work site on the internet. Then there is a variety of people involved in this movie who have not been formally announced. So let's run through the different people who've been cast: Sydney Sweeney, Emma Roberts, Adam Scott, and even more people. It's going to be somewhere set in the Spider-Man universe, and but we thought it was going to come out in July, but it's actually coming out in October of 2023. So there's more time for spinning out the web, as it were.
I'm going to be honest, this movie is a part of the club of movies that until I'm physically sitting down in the movie theater watching this movie, I will not believe that it's coming out.
Have they started filming this one or no?
I don't think they have. No, actually, I think Sydney Sweeney said recently, last week even, that they just started production.
And this is the one with Adam Scott in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like it is going to come out.
Yeah, I think it's going to come out, and ironically, and it might just be because of who's involved, on the creative side. I think that it could be entertaining, but I just don't know what it is. It's got all these cast members, and we don't have a synopsis. We don't have, yeah.
So of the actresses and actor, or there are two actors. I think you didn't say Mike Epps is in this.
Mike Epps is in it.
Why?
Dakota Johnson is in it as the titular Madam Web.
Is she Madam? Like, I'm not convinced that any of those of the people announced.
Well, the one thing that they have said is that she is playing Madam Web. They haven't said which Madam Web. They've just said that she's playing the title character.
Was Julia Carpenter ever Madam Web in the comics?
Yes, she's currently Madam Web.
Oh, yeah, so she's playing Julia. That's what they're gonna do. I am convinced that's what they are gonna do now.
So back when I was being serious about this movie, we came up with this whole possible synopsis where it's basically more Sony trying to do what they did with No Way Home, where they bring together different spider-based characters from different universes using Madam Web playing the Doctor Strange role, and they have
is that what Madam Web does? I don't know what her powers are.
Well, the original Madam Web is blind, and she connects to the multiverse through the web of, I want to say not the web of destiny, but something like that.
I think it is Web of Destiny.
And she can, she's got some kind of mastery over time and space in the multiverse, and yeah, she connects different web-based characters. So I think I can imagine some drenched Sony executive saying, "We just made a ton of money from Into the Spider-Verse and from No Way Home. Let's try to do one on our own, and let's bring to a female-focused, multiversal spider hero movie, and we'll slap the Madam Web name on it, and that's how we're gonna make it happen."
You know what? I wouldn't mind if this was like their Edge of the Spider-Verse, the new comic, the Edge of the Spider-Verse. I wouldn't mind if this was.
I'm thinking that that's what it is.
Sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
I
but
cannot believe I'm saying that.
yeah, so until I know, I mean, again, serious me says until I hear otherwise, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that that's what it is. Non-serious me is saying, this 90s based period piece about the early days of sex work on the internet
That's what that is.
seems, yeah, it seems very likely.
Yeah, no, that's the movie.
So Madam Web, but again, pushed back to October 6th, 2023. So more than a year away.
Mm.
Okay.
Any more Sony news? Sort of. Kraven the Hunter, he of also a Sony movie that potentially bears no similarity to the comic book character. Vegan, who knew that vegan Kraven would be on our bingo card for 2022?
Vegan, animal loving Craven.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Protector of animals.
Kraven. That's what when I was introduced to Kraven, I thought to myself, who better to protect animal rights than
Kraven
the hunter?
Maybe it's supposed to be ironic now.
Sony doesn't
Right.
have
He literally wears a lion skin.
Oh my, Sony.
So yeah, but it paired with the presumptive release that's supposed to be January 2023 of the Kraven Hunter movie. In November, we're gonna get a comic called Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt, which will star Kraven.
Synergy.
So Kraven news that could bode well for season 5 of the Racial Draft, given that Kraven's getting a little bit of a push. But for now, the only thing that's Kraven is Sony's choices with respect to the character. And that brings us to Marvel time. Start low, get it going. Comic news. This piece of news might have gone under the radar a little bit. Have either of you watched Squid Game?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah. I know what happened.
Sure. So, in the words of some studio executive, Korea and Korean dramas are pretty hot right now, and Marvel has decided Korea needs a superhero team, guys. Korea's had a superhero team, but they're getting their own book called Tiger Division, based around White Fox, who is their spy character who is kind of tied to the legendary nine-tailed fox from Korean mythology. And there's some other characters whose names were left to our imagination. But yeah, Tiger Division's getting their book. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Luna Snow. You guys remember Luna Snow? She's also going to be part of Tiger Division. There's their sort of Captain Korea style, super powered flag person, and some others. But November, Tiger Division #1 comes out, and I'm sure Marvel is hoping that this book blows up so they can come up with a MCU Korean-based super team.
Yep, Luna Snow feels ripe for her own Disney Plus series. I think
Luna Snow and the White Fox,
all of them. Maybe this comic will prove.
Oh, here's the name. Here are the names. Sorry. So, the Taiguchi, I guess I'm horrible pronunciation there, but he's their Captain America character. I will learn how to pronounce that by next week, guys. Lady Bright, the magician, Mr. Enigma, the General, and Gun R2. And like I said, White Fox and Luna Snow. So we will find out more about these characters as their stories take shape in the course of the book. And Tiger Division is probably going to be part of Marvel's Asian or East Asian push to make up for their ill-fated Chinese East Asian push. But that's not what you guys were here for. You guys want to know what happened in the panels. And we're going to talk about the panels. We got to start with animation. You a fan of animation, Jared?
I actually liked What If. I know
Okay.
most people weren't huge fans of it, but I thought it was a good show.
No, I liked What If as well. Julia, are you a fan of animation?
Well, I like some of it. I wasn't that keen on all of What If. It's funny though, because I did end up picking up. You guys listening won't know. I picked up some of the mystery minis today. Like they make them from Funko, and it's the What If ones. And I got to tell Star-Lord, and I actually really like that episode, so I'm happy. And then I also got the Captain America Zombie, which is good because we got a zombie show coming. We found it episode, and it's going to be different from the episode.
Yeah, it is going to be different from the episode in that it's going to be TVMA, which means gore, but it's still going to be set in that universe.
Yeah, which has different rules than the main one, clearly, based on the episode. I know it made some people mad.
Yeah, I think Marvel Zombies was my the most promising takeaway that I had from that entire panel. That show seems, I mean, the TVMA rating, not only does it open the door for so much more, like on Disney Plus. I'm just really surprised that Feige and co had the balls to do that. So I'm here for it.
So were you a fan of the Marvel Zombies comic?
I was. That comic is wild, but I think I prefer. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but have you read Deceased?
I've heard of it, but I have not read it.
So I think I would prefer it to the Marvel Zombie. I mean, Marvel Zombies is pretty wild.
But Marvel Zombies is from like 15 years ago, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Deceased is fairly recent. I'd say past 5 years, maybe.
Oh, I mean, Deceased, isn't it still coming out? Aren't they still doing Deceased stuff?
They might. I could be totally wrong about that. There's a very huge possibility that I'm wrong about that. But I just always felt that Deceased would be better for like an adaptation, rather. And I just preferred it a little more to the.
Fair enough. So, I mean, I didn't love Marvel Zombies, but I also think there was more of it being a factor. The timing, when it came out.
It's very niche.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But I like the Marvel Zombies episode of What If. And, I like the idea of it being another universe of the MCU. I think one of the things that I like, that has been confirmed is that we're going to get Yelena, we're going to get Katie, and we're going to get Jimmy Woo confirmed for Marvel Zombies. And what I wonder is whether they'll do a time jump from the end of the What If episode in order to kind of shake things up and have people not know exactly where everyone is.
Oh, probably.
I think so. I did have a little bit of I did have a few issues with the What If Zombies episode. Probably key among them being, I don't think the group of So, the What If episode's different from Marvel Zombies because it focuses on the humans, the survivors, as opposed to just the zombies. So it's not really the same thing. I just don't think the group of survivors we focused on in that episode was the right one, because I when you have characters making jokes, remember what was it, Hope, who expanded inside Sharon, zombified Sharon Carter, and then was like, oh, I got Sharon all over me. I mean, I felt those characters were written weirdly. I don't think she would be making that joke.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, but I do think that, one difference between the What If of it all and the longer running arcs that we will probably get in a full series is that I think they're trying to sort of do a proof of concept on these characters and make it a more entertaining 30 minutes or however long those episodes were.
They need to be longer.
Yeah, the what if episodes definitely need to be longer for sure. But so I think that might have been part of it, where they were just trying to be as entertaining as possible, with characterization not being as important.
So I totally agree. However, something that I feel that would have maybe fixed this, I think it would have been very interesting if they had focused on like the villains as the protagonists fighting their, and I mean, an issue of this is that a lot of Marvel's villains die.
Right.
But if you had characters like Zemo's alive,
Mhm.
like,
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a big part of what happens in this show. That
yes,
that the still living villains. There are so many heroes that died that seeing someone like Killmonger, for instance,
yeah,
because I guess technically based on the timeline of the show would have not died yet, because it's set.
Maybe. I think he might have been. They could rewrite the.
Yeah, they can rewrite the timeline,
Yeah.
because T'Challa was on the show, but the Avengers didn't the Avengers die during the. I'm trying to think of trying to remember the timeline.
It was
Didn't
Infinity War.
Yeah. No. Was it around the time?
It was after like Age of Ultron, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was before Civil War, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm. Wasn't it when Janet was released from the quantum realm, and she had the quantum?
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was.
See, what I think they should have done. Do you remember with Civil War how if they couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. back, they would have had.
Yeah, it's Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would have happened after Civil War then.
Yeah.
But remember, if they couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. back, the whole thing of the reason the Avengers would have been fighting would be because Crossbones would have released that they would have introduced the Mad Bomb.
The Mad Bomb? Okay.
They should have done that. And that way you would get more villains still. You could do Vulture, you could do Crossbones, you could do you could do Zemo, you could do Killmonger in that case. So it's just a little ways back, and have all the villains fight zombified heroes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be very curious, and who knows? Maybe we'll get zombie Killmonger since he's technically dead. He can be resurrected as zombie. But yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see where they go with it. And yeah, the original series was in 2005, so that's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one thing that we got officially.
It's just hitting me that 2005 was almost 20 years ago. Okay, you just said that, and I'm like, whoa.
Well, it's even rougher for me, as someone who was walking around in 2005 thinking that he was a young guy. But in addition to that, early 2023 is when we will get. No, I'm not. My apologies, listeners. Early 2023 will be the next season of What If.
Yeah, that's the first Marvel thing in 2023 on Disney Plus.
So what do you guys, or I mean, they said that some of the things that will happen in this new season of What If will be some more Captain Carter continuation, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, Black Widow and Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi. What are some of the what ifs that you'd like to see, based on next phase, the next phase, this past phase of Marvel stuff?
WandaVision, but it's, I don't know, based on musicals and not sitcoms. I don't know, but they're doing like another season like Schmigadoon. That's a whole another show where they're like trapped in a musical. But like, or some other genre besides sitcoms. I don't know. Like, that'd just be one of the sillier episodes, which I tend to prefer for What If. Like, I don't want to be like, I can't get invested too much in this whole other universe. Like, this is not connected to our universe. Like, call me when it's connected to Man of Z. I can't be that invested. But
I like it. I like it when the premise is just an interesting enough premise that they could go from point A to point B in an hour.
Maybe Eternals getting involved. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, what if the Eternals had fought Thanos?
Yeah, that's a good one. We need to do something that's not gonna be over in 5 seconds though. Like we have to figure it out so it's not like
I
yeah.
actually wrote for the site like 5 pitches based on based on phase 4 things.
Oh, perfect. So you said you wrote it up. So
yeah,
so lay it on the listeners.
It's out there. So one of them was like, this is going back a little bit. One of them was like, what if like the Hex ended up like
taking over the whole world?
I don't think it was the world. I think it was only the tri-state area, because
Okay.
you would have guys that would get taken into it that would be able to fight Wanda, but instead, they got a few characters in WandaVision getting hexed, so it's sitcoms. As
Cool.
the hex expands, you start getting into bigger crossover TV shows.
Got it.
Game of Thrones inspired episode, just little segments. It's kind of almost like a battle
world with different kinds of shows.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun.
That'd be fun.
That definitely feels like more than one episode though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think WandaVision is the thing I want a what if episode on the most. That and Eternals, I guess.
I think you could also do what if it was Pietro that was resurrected instead of Vision. So instead
my gosh. Sorry, that gives me another idea. Let me know when I can say it.
Oh no, lay it on.
What if Wanda died and Pietro survived?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that you were gonna say.
What if Hawkeye died and Pietro survived?
Ooh. Yeah, what if someone died and Pietro survived would be a really good episode. Yeah.
You can get Wanda or yeah, Pietro was a member of the Avengers for like a while. You kind of, they kind of missed their opportunity for that.
You know, it would be a really cool episode, actually, tying into what you said, where like, what if Pietro survived is just like the premise, right? And then it just shows like all the things that like could have been avoided if Pietro was around. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that bomb situation happens in the beginning of Civil War. He just runs it off and nobody dies. So like the Civil War never happens. Like Thanos shows up, he like runs over, steals all the stones, and he's like, like it's like all these like cool things. And like Pietro's like the most popular Avenger of all time because he solved all the problems.
This is like the T'Challa Star-Lord episode. This is sounding like.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, but with Pietro.
But then maybe at the end, like the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, something else happens, and then it was gonna suck because of.
Well, no, so he gets really sad about Wanda, and
Wanda
like
would probably go bad.
Well, no, Wanda. Oh yeah.
If Wanda's still, so say if it was like Hawkeye who died, Wanda would probably go bad earlier.
Why?
Because I mean, wasn't Hawkeye like her, like their closest
Yeah, but I still think that if she kept her brother though,
Yeah, because that was like the thing that the losing a brother thing was kind of started setting things off. I mean, the parents.
Yeah. But Pietro was a douche.
He was a douche. Agree.
Totally wouldn't.
Yeah, but not her.
So what if? I mean, again, we're doing the what if thing. So like, what if he becomes like, the main hero, and then he kind of gets a little bit full of himself.
Yeah.
And then he goes bad, and then Wanda has to take him down.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think you could do a lot of like one Avenger goes bad and all the like Avengers versus one, like you could do what if Thanos, what if Thor actually went for the head, killed Thanos, realizes that he has a taste for killing, becomes Ragnarok, and ends up going on a killing spree, and now the Avengers have to take him down.
Yeah, that one will be tough for like the TV whatever, like 17 or thing, whatever level that they're at, because now you have to show bloodthirsty Thor. But I mean, there's definitely appetite for bloodthirsty Thor. But that's a good what if. I mean, I'm trying to think of we'll get a Shang-Chi what if, but what if Shang-Chi actually did take over the 10 rings? It's probably one that we could get.
I think
Black Widow what if is probably another good one.
What if the Red Guardian formed, or what if the Winter
Red
Guard
Room?
formed?
Oh,
You could do a Winter Guard episode.
But I almost want there to still be a Winter Guard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
based on who's left, like there's no reason they couldn't have a Winter Guard.
Sure.
I mean, it just wouldn't be, Yelena or Natasha. Like, what if Yelena killed Natasha? Like, if Yelena was never freed from the Red Room?
I do sort of. Well, no, I'm not gonna say it. Sorry, I was almost thinking like we might have to wait till season 3, which was confirmed, for episodes of that were like based on the current phase, because they have to like stuff has to come out of the people making the show have to see them first. But considering we're getting like Odin versus the Mandarin, maybe not. Maybe we can get some.
There was a Shang-Chi one with Wenwu that I.
Yeah, that's Odin versus Wenwu. Yeah.
So I was thinking, what if Wenwu, like do we think Wenwu knows Wakanda exists?
I assume no. I'm gonna assume no.
I think so. I personally think the case could be made that he does, because
so you want a Wenwu versus T'Chaka fight is what I'm hearing.
It would be more of like a Wenwu goes to Wakanda because Wakanda has a very deep connection with the ancestral plane.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Wenwu tried to, like, no, in the case that he knows Wakanda exists and knows about the ancestral plane, he tries to revive his wife using the connection.
See, the reason that I think that in the regular MCU that doesn't happen is because Wakanda was so dead set in getting rid of anyone who knew the true nature of Wakanda that they would have tried to take down the 10 rings if someone that influential knew about Wakanda.
But people like Claw will just up and tell you.
True. But Claw was kind of discredited, and
yes.
But like
this would
be
like
they would have that would like knowing what we know about the Wakandan war dogs and like how deep their intelligence network goes. Like I feel like if they knew, they probably knew about the 10 Rings organization, and then from there, like they would have had an incentive to take them down if their leader, who was in possession of the 10 Rings, decided that he wanted to take over Wakanda. You know what I mean?
So
it makes
that would be the episode when we Wakanda.
Right. That could be a cool what if episode. And he could set it far enough that it's T'Chaka and not T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see that. But I mean, maybe it's too close to whatever they're doing with Wenwu and Odin in the actual season.
That's probably the one I'm looking forward to most. I love Wenwu.
Any Loki based what ifs that?
I don't know if they do that because I mean, do you mean Loki like in the Thor movies? Because I'd like to see
I mean Loki in the show.
Oh, the show? Well, the show kind of no, because most of it takes place outside of time and space. So I don't think that would really work. But I would like to see the Loki side of that Party Thor episode where he gets raised by frost giants. Like I feel like that'd be the more interesting side of it. And I know they didn't do it because Loki had a series, but it's not like they explored that part of him in the series. So I feel like that would have been a good episode.
So I actually also have another one for the Loki.
Okay. Loki TV agent.
So it was actually, remember the Tour de France. There's like a Loki that we see.
Yes, there was.
I remember.
Yeah, it would basically be his story, like, because I feel like with What If you can do that, like
that's true.
Yeah, you can do that with like the different variants of. Yeah, that's the whole point of What If. So yeah, I thought you meant Loki's and like the Loki characters and whatever like going on the team. Like that's not going to happen in What If.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tour de France Loki would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be.
I was thinking instead of Loki invading Earth with an army and trying to become its ruler, instead Loki has the idea of gaining favor and popularity by winning the Tour de France. And it plays a sports documentary, and all the Avengers individually basically get the idea to join to beat Loki, and that's how they team up and form the Avengers in the Tour de France.
I like that.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
In general, that would be a fun episode of What If, a sports where the Avengers and whoever like play some game together?
Oh, you could do. This could be a fun one. What if Korg printed enough pamphlets and was able to incite a Sicarian revolution, and he reformed the Contest of Champions basically to be the WWE? And
Oh my god.
all the characters doing WWE. You can get like a Vince you like all that.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be fun.
That could be
Yeah, I
fun.
want to see that now. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have you could actually turn the Grandmaster into a pro wrestling promoter, and
the Grandmaster, by the way. Korg would definitely have the Grandmaster as his like sultan. He's not smart.
Yeah, so it's like he comes to Earth and he makes the Avengers have to be part of like their wrestling organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can just do Contest of Champions, but
yeah,
like take inspiration from that event, from that little moment in comics, but it's WWE now. Like that's fun.
I agree. But this could be a totally separate episode, guys. So we should move on to another animated series. I suppose we'll talk about Spider-Man freshman year, which
oh boy, I have thoughts.
We all have thoughts about Spider-Man freshman year. How do we want to talk about it?
Well, I'm a little peeved at them because they're like, okay, we're going to see what happened to Peter Parker in his freshman year. And it's like, then we get what the description is. It's like, this is so clearly not MCU canon. And I'm probably still going to watch it and like, it'll be a good show, but like, I wanted to see what happened in MCU canon. I thought this was a fill in the gaps kind of series.
I did as well.
So I'm a little sad.
So I have chosen, and I'm only going to do this as a bit, but I've chosen to act as though all of this stuff is actually what happened to MCU Peter Parker before the events of Civil War. I'm just gonna pretend that until we actually get the series, that it's like no, it's fully canon. Peter Parker did all of that in his old suit.
The season 2 called sophomore year, and that's that's his sophomore year is Homecoming, so we can't call that canon.
That's fine, but until then, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, he met Norman Osborn. Yeah, he met Black Norman Osborn, and he had a whole bunch of adventures. And then then of course he meets Tony, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'm used to having a mentor figure. So you're my next tech daddy.
This basically feels like what if, like a what if episode, but it's a whole series.
Yeah,
it's like. Because it seems like to parallel canon kind of, because there's a shot of Aunt May sitting on the couch with Norman Osborn beside her, just like Tony was in Civil War. And
it really does. It really does feel that way. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, nope, no Ned. Nope, never met Ned. No, your new friends are Amadeus Cho, Nico Minoru, Harry Osborn. Again, before he got transferred to the other school, these were all his whole series of friends that he completely forgot about once he moved to Midtown Academy. That's how I'm gonna.
Doctor Strange cast a spell for him before he went to Midtown, and they forgot.
Exactly. Little did he know this was not the first time that Doctor Strange cast a spell. His first spell was to make him forget about his freshman year.
Why is Charlie Cox in this? Like, I need to know where Daredevil fits in this.
Oh yeah, he's in this. I forgot.
And Daredevil's in this.
Yeah, Daredevil's going to be in this, and again, canon. This is where he was after the events of his Netflix series. He becomes a substitute teacher at Spider-Man school, and he inspires Spider-Man to become Spider-Man because he starts seeing Daredevil floating around, and he's like, I can do that too.
You know what makes the most sense out of all of this? The fact that Norman Osborn is his mentor. He's definitely going to go bad in this series, and Spider-Man will have to fight Norman Osborn, his his tech uncle. The fact that he's like going from Norman Osborn to Tony Stark, it's like no, to Tony Stark.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, you're basically Norman Osborn. I'm gonna let you, fund my Spider-Man antics. Even like he's not gonna learn his lesson.
Or he's like, what would have helped in all my battles against Norman Osborn? A better costume.
I do like the costume that they showed. That is
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that he's got like 5 different costumes in freshman year. Like, so whatever,
gotta sell those toys.
gotta sell those toys. But yeah, like again, I'm just gonna keep pretending that he accomplished all of that before he met Tony.
He had a busy freshman year.
And then Doctor Strange
10
shows up.
supervillains.
Doctor Strange shows up, casts a spell, and it's it's like he completely forgot about it.
And Doc Ock is one of the villains. Like, how are they gonna and he meets Doc Ock in No Way Home, and
well, he only met Otto Octavius, so maybe in this universe, Doc Ock has a different name, and he didn't see the similarity at all.
Is Schmato Schmoctavius.
It's like, yeah,
no recollection.
No recollection.
No.
Listen, if this all ends with a Doctor Strange spell, I'll allow it. I will allow it.
Why not? I'm still gonna watch it. Like
I want them to like, again, until we see it, and and I'll decide one way or the other. But until we see it, I'm just gonna come up with the most ridiculous ways for this to be canon. I'm gonna like bring in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. people. Yeah. I'm gonna say that Phil Coulson is gonna be part of this. Iron Fist.
No, you know what happened? After the series ends, they're gonna pull a Spider-Man 3 where Harry Osborn gets amnesia, and Peter Parker's gonna have amnesia. That's what they're gonna do.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Peter and May, because remember when you know what confused her? She met Norman Osborn, but she's like, but you're white. That doesn't make any sense. Like, Norman Osborn's black in our universe.
Gustav Fring Norman Osborn. Like,
yeah.
They had to do that because of that. Like,
look, you guys know.
I see the similarity.
Listeners know that I have been on the Giancarlo Esposito as Norman Osborn train for at least 5 years. So we're all about it. We haven't found out who's doing the voice. If it turns out that he is doing the voice,
he'd never do it, but I want him to do it. Just because of the Gustav Fring similarities. It would be so good.
So there, so that's Spider. Did we miss anybody? Anyone that's supposed to be? Oh, Doctor Strange is actually supposed to be in the show.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah, he's gonna be part of the Spider-Man freshman year. So
they're giving him the gloves.
See, then the spell theory's happening.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. That's what happened, guys. You heard it here first. He went on all these adventures during his freshman year, and then Strange cast a spell, and he cast it on himself too, so he wouldn't recognize him when he met Peter the second time.
There's so many holes.
I really hope they don't push this as canon.
No, they are. They're gonna push it.
I want them to push this as canon so hard. Chameleon, Rhino, Scorpion, played by Michael Mann. Who's Unicorn? I'm not familiar with Unicorn.
I think Unicorn's an Iron Man villain, if I remember correct. Like, he was introduced. I'm pretty sure he's an Iron Man. I don't know why they're using Unicorn, but they're using Tarantula, which is pretty cool. I
love Tarantula.
Yeah.
So again, we'll figure it out. Nico Minoru finally in the MCU,
and
albeit in an animated series. Amadeus Cho also in the MCU.
I hope this brings us like one step closer to him actually being like in live action MCU.
Again, yeah, this is why I will allow it. If it means that if all of the canon breaking things that happen in this show means that these characters actually exist in the MCU proper, then I will allow it. I will allow it. And then you can have them walk up to Peter and Peter be like, I don't know who you are. Oh, it was a spell. It was a spell. So that brings us to, well, we should talk about I Am Groot. Shorts. Those are going to be awesome. I think those are happening in the fall, right? Or around Christmas?
I think August.
Next month.
Oh, even better. So But the main event of the animated panel was for sure the return of X-Men. Um, 97. Now, what is I gotta ask Jared,
Yes.
as the young buck of the pod, not alive in 1997
Nope.
or 1993 when the original series came out. What is your level of exposure to the X-Men animated series?
I believe was the first thing I watched when Disney Plus came out. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And
So wait. So does that mean you hadn't watched it before Disney Plus came out?
oh no, I mean, I don't know where I would have gotten access to it unless I like searched, like actively searched. I don't think I knew it existed like 5
Wow.
years ago.
Okay.
Remember, I'm young,
Mhm.
so I did not grow up with the X-Men animated series. I didn't grow up with the Spider-Man animated series. That's like Wolverine and the X-Men and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and
Mhm.
Spectacular Spider-Man. Like that's my generation.
Gotcha.
Um,
So what is your impression? What was your impression of the animated X-Men series?
I loved it. It's exactly what I wanted. The movies. I like the Fox movies, but like they did the X-Men animated series did all the silly, ridiculous things that the Fox X-Men movies were scared to do. They did the Shi'ar. They that's so the third season of the X-Men animated series, they did Dark Phoenix. That's my Dark Phoenix. Like, I don't know what the movie that came out in 2019
Yeah.
was.
Or the movie that
wasn't
came
Dark
out,
Phoenix.
or the movie that came out in 2007.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what movie you're talking about.
I
X-Men:
understand.
Last Stand. Never watched it. Never heard of it. Don't
I,
know.
I agree. So yeah. So to that end, how do you feel about X-Men 97?
I am so excited. I'm happy that they're picking up right like where they left off with Professor X being taken off with the Shi'ar and Magneto leading the X-Men. I actually like Magneto's new costume, the Trial of Magneto costume. I think it looks great. I mean, it's they haven't done anything yet. Marvel hasn't released anything about it yet that like I haven't been absolutely ecstatic for. Like Mr. Sinister being the main villain.
Mhm.
Like the villains that they're bringing back are perfect. You got like Mr.
Sinister, Emma Frost.
Hellfire, yeah. And there's one last one. Who was it?
Was it Val Cooper? Or no.
Yes. No, I love Val Cooper. So I'm really excited for Val Cooper in the animated series. I feel like Val Cooper is kind of similar to Val in the MCU.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of combine the two. It makes a lot of sense. Because Val in the MCU isn't really the Contessa from or at least we've only seen like 5 minutes.
Right. But you're right. I mean, some of the energy that Julia Louis-Dreyfus brings to the Contessa Valentina Allegro de Fontaine. Thank you. Some of the energy that she brings to that performance is very comparable to Val Cooper in the books. So I can see that. Now, what I'm concerned about, I'm not concerned, that's probably the wrong way of looking at it. It's X-Men 97, but here we are, 25 years later. Are they going to find a way to bridge the gap between 90s and the present day? Do you think that they'll cover at some point?
I don't think so. There's the reason I don't think so is, and this is a silly reason, but I don't know if you really like you like looked at all the designs for all the characters, right? They're kind of designed and even drawn in a way that invokes that style of the late 90s cartoons.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that because like they're calling it X-Men 97, right? So they're getting you to kind of prime you to expect kind of the same sort of thing. So it's not weird that it's like, why is it like the 90s? It's like, remember, it's the same thing. We're picking it where we left off from a show that started in the 90s. So yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if they, maybe not all the way to the present day, but I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, in the first season they're in 97, and then in the, you know, next season
no, this
they're
okay,
5
sorry.
to 10 years later.
97 it's being called that because the show ended in 97, not starting. So I think they're picking up in 97.
Right, that's what I mean. So like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the first season they cover from like 97 to 2000, you know.
Oh, they'll like be run through it. Yeah, maybe.
You know, and then they do a time jump in the second season. So maybe they don't get us all the way to 2022, but you know, by the end of the show, like you know, because remember, when we were kids in the 80s and 90s, the future was the 2020s. You know what I mean? But like we're in the 2020s. Like it's not the future. It's their future, but it's not the future. So you could imagine a situation where they spin forward the narrative and get them to where like the OG X-Men are older, and there's another generation of younger X-Men kind of below them.
That's an interesting point.
You know, but I mean, I'm not sure. I just think that there's a lot of directions they could go, because the X-Men franchise in the comics have gone so many different ways, and you gotta wonder, do they want to do, like, the best place to do Krakoa, like if you're gonna do it, is in the animated series. Like I don't know if you've read the X-Men, whatever it's called, series that is based on X-Men 93, the comic series.
House, yeah.
Yeah, and they basically did like a version of Krakoa in that book. I never got a chance to read it, but I know that they've been doing it.
They could get away, like they went all the way with the Dark Phoenix saga. They didn't really spare. It's wild to me that show was made for like kids at the time.
Yeah.
Because they didn't spare any like details. They went all the way. I agree. They could do, you know, it would have to be a little simplified, but
Sure.
I could see them doing Krakoa and Arakko in the MCU. I don't think that's where we start.
Well, I mean, so that's the thing. I think that, you know, and this is a conversation that I've had numerous times. I don't think that you can start with Krakoa in the MCU. I just don't think, you know, I think that the whole weight of that storyline is all of the history of the X-Men. But in the sense that the X-Men animated series is giving us all of that continuity and building up all of that gravitas of the different storylines, you know, especially since it's all there on Disney Plus for you to watch. You know, I could see them doing, you know, like 3 seasons of X-Men 97, and that getting us to the point where they can, for that. You know, they can go that route.
Yeah.
And then, you know, doing the math, Secret Wars is happening in 2025, guys. That's still my standing theory. My standing theory is that Secret Wars, that they will bring, that the X-Men 97 universe will be depicted in live action in Secret Wars.
Mine is that the next saga is made, and with Marvel Studios, is based around mutants. Like not only mutants, but it's gonna be called like the Mutant Saga or something. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
The Saga is not all about the multiverse, and the Infinity Saga is not all about Infinity Stones. Like
the Dark Phoenix Saga, anyone?
So they're never gonna call it Dark Phoenix Saga in the MCU, because that name is destroyed. But this is the perfect transition into what we were about to say, which is that they announced phases 5 and phases 6 and phase 6. And phase 4 is over, guys. Right after Black Panther.
Yeah.
Well, right, I'm saying right after Black Panther, phase 4 is over, and that was a shock, guy. That was a shock to me. That I thought that we'd still have a little bit longer in phase 4.
I had a feeling this was coming because he's like a couple of weeks ago, Kevin Feige did an interview, I guess this was before or whatever. He's like, yeah, phase 4 is coming to an end, and I'm like, I'm guessing end of this year because years usually each year is part of a different phase. That's changing now because phase 6 starts end of 2024, which is going to be weird. So I'm guessing that means Guardians Holiday Special is going to be phase 4, but we don't know for sure. So that will be the real last project, but that will be happening. And
but yeah, phase 5 kicks off with Quantumania.
What an amazing title, by the way.
Now, did you guys see any of the leaked footage from the panel with respect to Quantumania?
I saw the Scott Lang picture with the book.
I heard it wasn't any footage, but it was it was a black screen, but it was the audio from the
Oh, okay. You heard the audio.
I didn't get the audio. Can you send that to me if you find it?
Yeah.
So I saw like a really bad angle of the footage. Someone had their phone, I guess, on their hip, and they were putting, so like I got about 60% of the screen from a weird angle of that trailer. Kang's in it, as we know. There seems to be some kind of in the quantum realm people fight happening. It's I couldn't pick up all the audio, so maybe I have to listen to your audio with my bad angle video and try to sync those up and try to figure out what's happening. But the important thing is that Kang shows up at the end. There's a little small glimpse of MODOK, so MODOK confirmed, but I'm looking forward to it. And all of a sudden, Ant-Man went from these somewhat inconsequential movies that are just kind of like fun romps to big player in phase 5 of the MCU. And for the benefit of the listeners who probably do know what these are, I'm just gonna run down the movies and their the movies and their dates.
Do we want to just go and discuss each one as you go, or what?
Well, I'm gonna run through them and then we'll circle back. So we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels in September. I'm sorry, in July. In November, you've got Blade officially announced. You've got Untitled Marvel, which will be Deadpool, guys. Untitled Marvel in 2024. Captain America: New World Order is a Captain America 4 movie, and that's going to be in May 2024, the Avengers spot. Thunderbolts in July of 2024, and that brings us to Phase 6 in November of 2024, and that is Fantastic Four. And then in November of 2025, Untitled Marvel. We can talk about what we think that movie might be. And then 5/2/25, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. And then July 2025, another Untitled Marvel movie. And then November 7th, 2025, Avengers: Secret Wars. And that will be the final movie of Phase 6. Obviously, there are going to be Disney Plus series mixed in with that. We have dates for the 2026 movies. That will be February 13th, May 1st, July 24th, and November 6th. And these are all entitled. If those were X-Men movies, I wouldn't mind.
I think at least one of them could be an X-Men movie.
But let's go ahead and do our little bit of speculation.
Oh, so are we only doing the movies? I know we got some news on a couple of the shows.
So we know about the shows, but we don't know when the shows are happening, right? We know that the shows were confirmed, but I don't think we know the slots of where they're falling between the
Just
movies.
like spring, but like
We know
spring.
what season they're supposed to come out in. But we
Okay.
did get footage. Well, we got footage officially for one of them released, and then one got footage at the convention, and there's interesting information about a couple of them as well, that we didn't discuss. But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't hear about Armor Wars. I know that was a weird one.
Yeah. We did get a name change from Agatha House of Harkness to Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Yes, here we go. I have it in front. Yeah, for some reason I didn't put this in the docket. My apologies.
And we got
So
yeah, okay, we can talk about that one, yeah.
so let's get into it. So Quantumania is happening in
February.
February.
Mhm.
Secret Invasion though is happening after that.
I assume that's gonna be like March. Because we'll have gone from like October to March with no live action Marvel Disney Plus.
Yeah, so
Now,
it's,
where are they gonna put it
Also got
against
those holiday
Mandalorian? That's a whole nother thing because they should probably put them on different days.
Mhm.
Remember Ms. Marvel totally got eaten by Obi-Wan? Yeah, we don't want that again.
yeah,
they
I
want-
agree. I
We
agree.
also got those holiday specials.
Yes, the holiday specials are
Yeah,
happening.
Werewolf by Night still not announced.
Oh my
I'm
God.
still thinking they might just drop it one day because that's the kind of thing they can do because they're Marvel and it's like a one-off special. It's like, here it is, y'all. So that's a good one. They can probably experiment with that kind
No,
of thing.
I definitely think that with
Cloverfield.
D23
Yeah,
next
similar.
week. Yeah. Which is weird because I was assuming that because of D23, this was a story that I didn't really talk about in the docket, but we can talk about very quickly.
Yeah.
Marvel put the two Deadpool movies and Logan, which are both R-rated, onto Disney Plus, and
Yeah,
and
that's
that's a
been
big
here
move.
for a while in Canada. So this
Oh well, here in the U.S. Has not been a thing, and a lot of people are speculating that they're letting people know, turn up your parental controls.
they are. They
Because some R-rated Marvel content is coming, and if you want your kids to not be exposed to it, then you got to get used to it now, because I think Deadpool 2 is coming, and I think that date, that untitled Marvel date of February 16th, 2024, I think that's going to be our boy Wade.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they didn't even like mention that. Yeah, there's we're gonna let you know the date of the movie coming because they did that with the Phase 6 stuff, but there was no like, yeah, there's a February movie in Phase 5, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm of two minds with that.
I think it would be Deadpool 2. I'm writing an article for coming soon about this. Just the questions we haven't answered, and I'm like, is there still a movie in February 2024? I think it is, and I think it's Deadpool. Like, what else would it be?
It's got to be Deadpool 3. I mean, the first Deadpool came out of Valentine's Day weekend. Obviously,
Yeah.
the second one came out in May, but I mean, it's
So
been
really like 2 or 3 weeks after Infinity War.
yeah, and that I think personally it hurt the box office of that movie, coming out that close. But I just
wasn't it the highest R-rated movie for like until an It movie came out?
Yeah, it did really well still, but yeah, I think it.
Yeah, but I think that I was saying the first one did really well, and I think that the second one could have done better. But the second one did comparable to the first, but I think it could have done better if it didn't have Infinity War in its same month, and then a Star Wars movie like around the same time.
Yeah, Solo.
So-
I know it was Solo. I that's why I didn't say so. It's like a star, but
Like, yeah.
So
but I still think it hurt. It's like it didn't have months and months to be the only thing
But
worth.
yeah, because February is traditionally like a dead month. It's considered so like it was
But not
exciting.
since Black Panther has it.
No, but like when Deadpool came out, it was before Black Panther,
Right.
so it was still considered like a dead month. So everyone's getting say like, yeah, we can go to Deadpool, something to do.
Yeah, and like we just said, that Quantumania is coming out, February of 2024.
Yeah, Marvel's a
2023.
February thing now. Thank you, Black Panther.
Yeah,
So-
thank you. Yeah, once like the combination of Deadpool and Black Panther, they were like, so you mean we can make a bunch of money in February?
mhm.
We're doing it. So like I said, I think that Deadpool is almost a lock for that February 16, 2024 slot.
I think if they're gonna release a movie in February, it's gonna be Deadpool. Yeah, it's gonna be Deadpool. However, to play devil's advocate here, remember there was like an October 2023 release date that they ditched, and that ended up going to Sony. Ended up picking that up to release.
Well, I don't think they were ever actually going to release 5 movies in 2023. That wasn't going to happen. So
But they were just holding on to the date.
yeah, like that wasn't. It was going to be either the October or November one, and they picked up November. So that's what happened.
Could they do the Spider-Man 4 then? Like, could they?
Oh yeah, I'm wondering when Spider-Man 4 is going to happen. I'm wondering if Spider-Man 4 is going to happen, and then it's going to push this whole thing back a little bit.
I feel like Spider-Man 4 would come out that February, because after that.
No, I mean, but
I don't think they're gonna do Spider-Man in February. I think they might do it.
I think Spider-Man's going back to the summer spot. I think it's most likely that we'll get another Spider-Man movie in 2024. In June of 2024 between Captain America and Thunderbolts.
Oh my god, we're literally gonna go between them. So yeah, Thunderbolts might get pushed back, which means Fantastic Four might get pushed back.
No, but they don't have to push it back. Like, wasn't there a Spider-Man movie like within a month of Endgame?
Yeah.
Maybe. No, not a month. It was Endgame was end of April. Spider-Man was July.
Okay.
They can also they've been just creating movie, like they did that with Eternals, or did they? No, they didn't do that. But they were going to do that with Doctor Strange in March. They created a date for it in March.
There was like a whole thing where it was like, yeah, the Thor was going to be like a month for Doctor Strange at one point during the pandemic. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
I think, however, I'm wondering, my theory now is if they didn't announce February, whatever, 2025 or 2024. Yeah, 2024. They didn't announce February 2024, which is notable because it's like one of the Phase 5 projects I haven't mentioned. I'm wondering if they're going to push forward Captain America, and Thunderbolts will be in May, and then, or Spider-Man might be in May, and then Spider-Man's going to take either May or July, and then everyone else will shift.
Well, one thing that you have to remember is that, like, when it comes to the Spidey dates, like, Marvel never dates those movies.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know, but they know Spidey's coming.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we'll move our date, or we'll get rid of our date, or whatever. I don't know, but I think some stuff might be moving around for Spider-Man.
Because Spider-Man did come out in November, and
that has Phase 3. They're gonna have it again. Pardon?
Eternals did come out in November, and they had.
And then Spider-Man came out in December.
Yeah, but it was like a month, and it was also so pushed together because pandemic, partly.
Right. But wasn't the original Spider-Man date in July?
Right? Yeah, original Spider-Man date was July, but then it became more Christmassy anyway. That movie kind of
Yeah. I mean, I think it's possible. I think you're right. I think it's possible that 2024, Marvel they've got what we think is a Deadpool movie, Captain America, Thunderbolt, and then Fantastic Four in November. That, I mean, a fifth Marvel movie in, that being Spider-Man in 2024, it's shaky, but
I'm wondering if they're really like they're trying to make us forget the February date. That way they can like move it back and it's fine, y'all. There was nothing on that date. Don't worry, you guys. And just quietly get rid of one of the other ones. And Sony does their Spider-Man thing.
But because that's so close to the Avengers Kang Dynasty, unless they're working.
Oh no, I'm talking 2024 and 2025.
Okay, 2024.
Like 2025, maybe they can push up the thing to February or whatever. Like we'll end up with having like Thunderbolts or in February, Fantastic Four in February. I don't know. I have a feeling just around that 2024 years, there's going to be some shifting because Spider-Man's going to come in and like take over everything, and Marvel will just have to move for it because it's Spider-Man. So that will happen.
Maybe you're right.
I expect that to happen.
I could see them just pushing Thunderbolts. I could see them just pushing Thunderbolts a month or two just to get clear off space for Spider-Man in
I can
July.
see Deadpool coming in and picking off the mutant thing, though. Maybe we'll have to wait for him. Maybe that's why. Maybe he'll be in between the Kang and Secret Wars.
Deadpool, Kang, Deadpool, Secret Wars.
It could be.
See, I just don't think we're gonna wait. It's been so long since the last Deadpool movie. I just don't think we're gonna wait 2 more years. Like,
isn't it supposed to?
No, but like, are they even finished writing the script? It's like.
I thought it was supposed to film in tentatively in the spring.
Next year, yeah, maybe. Then That's still cutting it close for 2024 February.
That's cutting it close for February.
Yeah, 2024 is gonna change. I'm sorry, it's gonna change. Like
So,
it's not what
now you're thinking that the Deadpool movie's for 2025? Is this what I'm hearing?
I don't know. Deadpool's probably gonna be 2024, 2025, at the very latest 2026. Like that's the latest it's gonna be. And even then, if it's 2026, that's 8 years between the second and third movie. That's
That's
longer
a
than
long, yeah, that's the longest break. I just can't imagine that they're gonna take that long of a break.
I know. It's so weird.
I think that I feel like it's gotta be 2024 for Deadpool. Because you
Or I
want
feel like
Deadpool
Deadpool,
because you
but
want
then
Deadpool to
Spider-
be playing a role in the future movies. You don't just want
let's
him to
be
be sitting on the
honest.
sidelines.
I would not be surprised if like the Avengers movies moved around or whatever, and then one of them end up in 2026 thanks to Spider-Man like playing dominoes.
Maybe.
Like they're saying 2 movies in a year now. Like I don't know. I just think with the movie side of things, what we were told yesterday is not exactly going to be the exact what happens.
Yeah.
See, I think that pre-pandemic, those Marvel dates were set in stone. And I think that the further we move, well, we technically aren't out of the pandemic, but you know what I mean. The further we move into our like post acknowledging the pandemic, the more those dates will continue to crystallize, and certain movies won't move at all, barring anything catastrophic.
Yeah, like I don't expect like anything up to like I think next year's pretty locked. Knock on wood. I think I like nothing like because like we have Quantum Mania and like that already switched with the Marvels and everything, and then Guardians is like set for the May date, and then Blade either moves and like or something moves to November, and then Blade's like nothing besides those 4 movies can come out next year. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
And also,
So and I think they really want to get Blade out because they announced Blade. Like I think they announced Blade last con so early because news got out like a few days before the con. They wanted something no one knew about, so that's why I think they brought out Blade at that event. So they probably want to get it out soon. So yeah, that'll be end of next.
Especially because I think that with
and
with this year, later in the year with the Halloween special, I do think that the characters from the Halloween special are going to tie to Blade somehow.
yeah, and same with Moon Knight probably.
Yeah. So all of a sudden that becomes a strong, Halloween time of year date for them. So
another thing, I feel like they can always move. Like delays weren't always a pandemic thing. There were Marvel delays pre-pandemic.
Oh, there totally were. Remember the Spider-Man comes into phase 3 and pushes everything back thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Infinity
That
War
happened.
Game were moved around.
Yeah, Ragnarok moved, everything after it moved.
So they can just do that. Like just because the pandemic it like is over, and for listeners, I'm doing air quotes, they can still delay things and move things around because that was a staple of the MCU even before the pandemic.
Fair enough. I think that there was a run in there where even if things moved, it still felt like these movies were stronger positioned than some of the other.
I'm still waiting for the Inhumans movie.
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh yeah, that got canceled. Yeah, besides that, I heard that.
That's not fair. But let's move forward. So we danced around this, but Fantastic Four, we think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get casting at D23.
Maybe, yeah, I can see it, or at least one casting or a director or something.
I think director is like a guarantee at this point, but cast.
Yeah, we need to kind of know who it is, so we're waiting on that.
I feel like,
unless the director is a big name,
yeah,
I don't know if that's going to be enough to get people hyped up.
But isn't like the common trend, like I feel like this is just a pattern that I've been noticing of late, but like usually when a movie's 2 years out, the director will be announced, or if a director is announced, the movie will be 2
right. But remember, they had a director announced in John Watts.
That is true.
So
but maybe the movie was going to come out earlier.
Maybe, I mean, I think it was. I
It
think
probably
that
would have come out around when Thunderbolts is coming out.
It wouldn't have been
That-
too. You're right. It wouldn't
Well,
have been.
yeah, or
yeah.
maybe like Captain America, probably around Captain America.
But
That's
Captain
possible.
America,
I think
the
like May.
director was recently announced. It's for that May. The director was announced earlier this month. It's July. That's almost 2 months.
True, but
Thunderbolts also.
yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna need to. They're gonna tell us soon. I'm sure this is one that they'll want to have well in advance, us knowing. So
yeah. I just think that in terms of because they lost the director, I think that just telling us who the new director is, unless that director is a big name, might not be enough to generate hype. Whereas announcing who the Fantastic Four will be played by will generate hype.
Yeah, but I do think the director will be a big name. We know how happy Feige was not having to be as like being a little more laissez-faire with Raimi, who is arguably one of the biggest names Marvel has had working on Doctor Strange. He's gotten a taste for that. He's probably going to want that a little more, especially with Fantastic Four. They're probably the most important property they cannot mess up.
No,
I'd
that's
say
X-Men.
more-
That's X-Men.
I'd say over the X-Men.
No.
Personal opinion.
Yeah, I think no, I think that there's too much money riding on the X-Men. Like for them, like it like the thing about the Fantastic Four, the bar is extremely low
True.
for the Fantastic Four. They just have to make a competent Fantastic Four movie. And
A good Fantastic Four.
yeah. Whereas the X-Men, they need to make $1 billion with the X-Men. If they don't make $1 billion with the X-Men, people are going to question like whether Marvel knows what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, we know that it does, but
I know, but what I'm saying is that that is an IP gold mine,
Mhm.
and I mean I think it's night and day. I think that comic fans have a certain kind. I mean, this is something I go back to. Like comic fans have an affinity for the Fantastic Four, and I too have an affinity for the Fantastic Four. But as a standalone drawing vehicle, it's very questionable whether just the name Fantastic Four is enough to get people to the theaters and and create a hit the same way that Spider-Man did or the same way that the X-Men will.
Yeah.
Like I think that they want to make a really good Fantastic Four movie, and I think they want to establish the Fantastic Four as a positive concern, something that the people feel good about. And I think that it's important to have a good director and a good cast and generate the hype that they can, because I just don't think the hype will be self-generated. I think it's self-generated in social media and self-generated within like hardcore nerd circles, but in terms of the mainstream, like I think they're going to need some to generate their hype.
Yeah.
But and like I said, I think the D23 is the place to do it. Deadpool's going to be great. People are going to be happy for that. But I think Fantastic Four is going to be the other thing that people are going to be able to hitch their wagon to and say, yes, we've got 2 years to keep building up momentum for that.
I'm excited to see them try and top what they did last night. I don't know how they will, but I hope they try.
Right. Again, that's why I was pretty sure that they weren't going to do anything Fantastic Four last night, because they wanted to make it all about Black Panther as the hammer, as the thing that people were going to take away.
I mean, I thought they went with the oversell. I thought they were just going to do Black Panther and She-Hulk, just show those off. They obviously went above and beyond, in my opinion. I just don't know how they do more at D.
Well, the thing is, like, everyone always says every year it's a D23. It's like they're gonna save it for D23 if D23 is after Comic-Con, if it happens to be, which this year it is again. And then last time that didn't happen, and then this time I think it will happen just because the way the panels are scheduled this time. Like this time it's a Marvel and Lucasfilm panel, and that's it. And Marvel we know has more than Lucasfilm. So I think they're gonna focus maybe on Phase 6, and like I don't know if they're just gonna bring everyone out again. Maybe they'll show more footage of stuff because last time with Comic-Con D23, the whole thing with that was they only had filmed on Black Widow, and that's the only thing they had ready to show. But they have way more to show this time, so they might be showing more Quantumania, and we might be seeing more of the Marvels even, because that is coming. Because we didn't get that yesterday, and we might have more of the TV shows coming next year because Echo will be like almost done by that point. I think Loki will be pretty heavy on filming. Ironheart will be pretty heavy on filming, although they might save Ironheart for Comic-Con next year because that's like after that. Loki might be after that too. I don't know, but I think they'll be showing more stuff. But they'll probably gonna drop some more dates.
Yeah, so Echo is supposed to come out summer of 2023. We left that out. Loki's supposed to come out also summer 2023, and Ironheart's supposed to come out in fall 2023. And then the Agatha Coven of Chaos, which I wonder if they're going to introduce more witches in that. In the Coven of Chaos. And they say winter 2023/2024.
I think it's going to be 2024. I think it'll be the first show of 2024.
Okay. We buried the lead, guys. Daredevil, Born Again. Shout out to our friends from Save Daredevil. Shout out to me, who said that we need to do longer seasons. 18 episodes, guys.
I'm worried that's going to be too many. I'm like, let's do 13 episodes or something maybe first season. Like, I don't know if 18 everyone's going to complain about filler or whatever. Like, I don't know if we're going to get to that.
Yeah, that was me with the Daredevil series. I did think that 13 was a little too much, though I have been complaining about these Disney Plus series feeling like they can use a few other episodes, but 18 episodes.
It feels like a lot.
Now I wonder if they're gonna do like part 1, part 2.
That would be cool. 9 and 9.
Good, like 9 and 9.
Like 9 and 9.
I can't complain. You know, it's more MCU content. Great, 18 episodes.
But just think, if you're like just imagine that you were one of the writers and directors who worked on a series, and you were told, like, sorry guys, you can't do everything. You know, you only got six hours to make it happen. You know, and then now you're reading you're sipping your coffee, and you're reading the industry news, and you see Daredevil got 18 episodes. You're like, the fuck?
Like, that's a big jump. That's triple the amount most of the other ones. Like,
they gave a three seasons worth of content to one series of a show,
and they're calling this season 1, meaning there's probably gonna be more.
Yeah, I don't get it. Disney Plus, that's the place where you can do 7-episode seasons, 10-episode seasons, 4-episode seasons if you want. So I'm happy that they're exercising that freedom with 18 episodes, but also 18 episodes does sound very like that's if they're going to be releasing it weekly, that's 18 weeks. That is over 3 months.
That is an entire season.
Yeah.
Like season, like weather season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
more than a weather season. A weather season is 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. We're going to be going at when does it release?
Spring 2024.
When it first comes out, the trees will be green. When the last episode comes out, there's going to be snow on the ground. Like,
yeah, and that's why I think that I could see them doing 2 parts.
I would love that.
You know, I could see them doing the 9 episodes, taking a break, coming back, in a month or 2, and then doing the other 9, taking us through to the end of the year.
9 episodes really seems like a really sweet spot.
Yeah.
How many episodes? I probably should look this up. Peacemaker.
She-Hulk is 9 episodes.
I'm excited.
Peacemaker was 8, I believe.
Yeah, I thought Peacemaker. It wasn't my favorite. But
both Peacemaker and
really well paced.
Yeah, both Peacemaker and The Boys were 8 episodes.
Both really well paced shows.
WandaVision was 9 episodes. But I think they did the double.
WandaVision was almost 10, but yeah. Same with She-Hulk. It's 9, but it was almost 10. So it was What If. Yeah. 1 episode got moved to season 2.
WandaVision arguably should have been 10, but just that last episode,
Oh, that wasn't the one that the one they cut was like a 90s episode.
Oh.
So it was like a middle of the series kind of thing.
I honestly, WandaVision was at its best when it was just a sitcom, in my opinion. So that would have been cool.
But yeah, like that's listen, everyone was saying, we don't know where Marvel's going. We need a direction. We need a signpost. Well, now we have signposts, guys. Now we have the next 4 years, or at least the next 3 years of titled events. And are you happy now, listeners? Are you happy now, fans? Probably not.
Where's Armor Wars though?
Where's Armor Wars?
That was my reaction. Like, wait, where's Armor Wars? That was my reaction coming out last night.
Don Cheadle's sitting there like, guys, what about me?
I mean, he's Secret Invasion, we found out, so that's fine. I guess he's okay.
I need more.
Wonder if we'll get Emmy nominated for showing up for 5 seconds.
Yeah, more content from Emmy-nominated actor Don Cheadle.
He's like, can I do it again? Can I get 5 minutes in Secret Invasion and get Emmy nominated again? Because I'll do it.
They know he gets the Emmy nom, so they're putting him in whatever.
He'll be in one episode of Secret Invasion and become 2-time Emmy nominated actor Don Cheadle.
Oh man. But I guess now is as good a time as any. We went through the slate. We got to talk about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. Got to ask, how many times? You don't have to give me the exact number. How many times did you watch a trailer, Jared?
Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I watched that trailer. Like, how many views let me see how many views that trailer has. I must account for about half of those. So currently it has 16 million views. It's been out for
about 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm probably like half, 2/3.
Couple million.
Yeah.
What about you, Julia?
I think I've seen it. I watched it a few times, like a couple times. I've been like trying to process all this, and I was watching. I'm like, okay, here's the trailer. I was like, okay, so like, wow. Yeah. My reaction to it is like, it looks like the Avatar one like a lot.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Put that
Oh. Well, I've seen it at least 10 times. I'll probably watch it another 10 times tonight. But I like the tone that they struck with the trailer. I like the mournful, celebratory tone, but I also liked the fact that there's a lot of intrigue with what's happening with the impending war between the Atlanteans and the Wakandans. We got our first glimpse of Namor, or as I say, Namor. The Spanish-speaking Namor. We don't yet know a lot about the plot. It does seem like they were implying that Shuri is going to die in the trailer. Someone made the point that it's possible that scene was from the time where it was during the blip. But based on the passion of Queen Ramonda about, are saying that she lost her entire family. It does seem like there's going to be a lot of heavy stakes and a lot of loss and tragedy in this movie. But I thought that it struck the tone of go see this movie because we're going bigger. We're going bigger than even the last movie. And we're going to be respectful of what happened to Chadwick. Again, we've talked about this ad nauseum, so we're not going to get too deep into it. Very disappointed that they're going to kill T'Challa, but I understand. It's a sad thing losing Chadwick, and it's a sad thing to ask anyone who was involved in the last movie to pretend that that's not important and worthy of acknowledging. So we'll see in that respect. But I mean, I really like the trailer. Obviously, the first Black Panther trailer was like a shot of adrenaline into my veins. You know what I mean? Like this is something different. But but I think that it did the right thing. A lot of people were worried about this movie. A lot of people were concerned, based on everything that happened with like vaccinations, COVID,
Oh,
and
no.
injuries. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the best Marvel movie of the year.
Oh, I
I'm sort
won't
of banking on it. And
I I've seen some leaks. I don't know if it's gonna be or not because like I wasn't mad at the leaks really, but a lot of people apparently don't like it. And like, I mean, I know it's different than seeing a movie, but like, I don't know, so I'm not sure.
I feel like leaks are like having like a jigsaw puzzle, but only having the
Yeah, they weren't detailed leaks, to be fair.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember reading the leaks from Spider-Man No Way Home, and the ones that
Oh, I did read those leaks.
it was like the movie, but it was like it was like Spider-Man goes to see Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, uh, like Doctor Strange does a spell. Everyone comes in, like all the character. It doesn't like there's no reason why. It just
Mhm.
seems like they just all the
Yeah, I remember there was some stuff in the Thor leak that like they asked me to do a full plot leak for it because there was some stuff in like the undetailed leak that didn't make sense. And I'm like, well, I've seen the movie, that makes sense. It made sense. But like it didn't make sense in that leak. So yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean they made it look great, so it looks really good. But then again, like the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer looked fantastic, and then like
yeah.
the movie was really boring. So
Yeah.
I don't
But to
know.
but to
Um,
be fair, I do think that Ryan Coogler's a better filmmaker than Patsy.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a lot of what each of them has done. I would maybe agree. I don't know. I want to see Creed.
Um,
Yeah, Creed is one of my favorite movies.
Creed is the best
I
Rocky
would
movie.
see Rocky once first, and then Creed. Gotta watch all those movies. But yeah, uh, yeah, I'm excited for this one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be judging this one in the same way I judge most Marvel movies, considering the circumstances.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting. I'm really not looking forward to the discourse on this. I mean, the Ms. Marvel discourse wasn't as bad as I expected, so maybe this won't be either. But that's two totally different kinds of things. But I just
Yeah,
know that.
I'm going to try to avoid a lot of the discourse around the movie. I mean, I'm going to create my own discourse, of course, here on the podcast, listeners. However, a lot of the time, with respect to certain kinds of movies, they're coming from places, that are tough places to come from. Like I think in this case, because of the emotional, the grief aspect of it, I'm going to try to give people some grace with respect to where they're coming from, but I just won't participate in bad faith discourse.
Yeah, like bad faith discourse. I'm looking forward to bad, not looking forward to bad faith discourse. Then again, yeah. I mean, I'm no like because
Yeah,
like
I
I'm still
mean,
like they should have waited to do this movie. To be honest.
I I feel like the the people like Ryan Coogler, the cast, if they felt as though they needed to do this movie, then that's it. There's
Oh,
no going against it.
I don't know if
I think
Marvel was like pushing it on them though. We'll see.
I
Like,
hope not.
yeah,
it's okay, and it
I
might
yeah.
have
I
been with them,
mean,
so
we'll
I can.
definitely get more. We'll definitely get more trailers.
yeah.
But this is finally our first trailer. There was all that discourse around the Thor trailer about how like they waited until the last possible moment to give us a trailer. Like I'm glad they didn't do that. I think there's room for at least one more trailer before November,
Yeah.
and I think we'll get a story trailer, especially with the Namor of it all. I think it's going to be important to introduce him and his motivations. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's two trailers actually. So,
I mean,
personally,
I guess I'm looking forward. It's hard to say I'm looking forward to this because it's gonna be like really sad.
yeah,
So
I get it.
it's hard because like I remember at the first Black Panther, I'm like, okay, I need the second one now. Like I'm so excited. Like, I was very very excited, and then like it just kind of changed,
Right.
obviously. So it's
Yeah.
just sad and like, but like I got those special vibes from this trailer. Like it was like one of the first ones, very exciting and whatever. I don't remember the first Black Panther trailer. I'll just say I don't remember many MCU trailers before like the end like the post Infinity War era, I guess. Like I remember Ant-Man and Wasp and Captain Marvel and Endgame, like way for those trailers. Except for like Ragnarok, Civil War, and Age of Ultron, maybe, and Guardians. I don't remember many of the other trailers. So like, I can't comment on that, but like I mean, I remember like from this trailer why Black Panther is such like a good franchise, I guess, or like it was a good first movie at least. So that's a good sign. Yeah, I don't know, like I said, the
Yeah.
discourse of Marvel this year has been it's been very frustrating in a lot of ways because there's some good points, right? But then there's like a bunch of like bad faith arguments, there's like dumb arguments, there's like 50% of the audience wants one thing and 50% of the audience wants another, and that's really frustrating to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think that now that we have official confirmation that we're in the multiverse saga, that we are pointed towards 2025 and these two big signposts, I think that at least I think that some of the discourse will be cleaned up by people kind of following the Easter eggs, and saying like this movie gets us one step closer to where we're going. Whereas I agree that some of the movies this year have been flawed, and but I think that people would be more willing or have been more willing to forgive flaws in Marvel movies before, because they know that it advances the meta storyline. And I think that now we're going to get more probably not in this Black Panther movie. I think this movie will be largely standalone, but I think going forward, I think we will get movies that we receive more positively because of the fact that they advance the meta storyline. Again, the next movie after Black Panther introduces Kang. I mean, officially,
So like, yeah, one thing that's been bugging me about Marvel lately, especially with this has really been a phase 4 thing, I don't remember this too much beforehand, is that like this is for like the hardcore Marvel fans, I guess. That this is not the general audience. General audience has a different complaints, and we can discuss those in time. But like that, like Marvel fans have decided with each project, there's one thing or two things they want to see happen. If it happens, it's a good project. If it doesn't happen, it's bad. And that's how they judge whether it's a good project. Like WandaVision didn't have Mephisto, the fans start like going after it. Loki has Kang, all they talk about is Kang. It's like the rest of the show didn't happen. Like they liked it, and like it's a good show because Kang, even though there's 5 other episodes.
Yeah, but I still think that in most people's eyes, WandaVision is either 1 or 2 in terms of the Marvel shows.
Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, like I'm just saying, like after it came out, like that's how people were judging it when it came out.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that, and
I think that one of the things that we're learning in this new phase with the shows is that it's like having to watch a show from week to week and having a week to speculate on what you want to see has been a double-edged sword, because you work yourself into a tizzy about like what you think the big time reveal is going to be, and if the big time reveal doesn't
oh my
land,
god,
then it's a problem.
the whole thing with Moon Knight, it felt like they were like everyone was just sitting there waiting every week. Are they going to introduce Jake this week? Are they introduce Jake this week? And it felt like they weren't enjoying the show, or like actually paying attention to what was happening because of it. And even again, back with WandaVision, that stupid episode, or not the stupid episode, the stupid
Aerospace
engineer,
engineer.
which was like the best episode of WandaVision. And all I talk about is the aerospace engineer. Like they don't care what's in front of them; they just care about what's happening next, or like seeing a cameo.
Yeah.
Like cameo culture has kind of ruined the discourse for these movies, at least in the hardcore section. The casual section's a little different.
I agree, but I mean, I like to make fun of it. So I don't know about you, Jared. You make
little,
fun of cameo culture.
I mean,
cameo culture makes me really upset.
Yeah, cameo culture is like ridiculous. Like a movie should stand apart from, like a cameo shouldn't dictate if a movie is good. Like
that's what it's really starting to feel like. It's like, yeah, we got a cameo. It's a good movie now. Yeah, it was worth it.
Like,
do you actually like these movies?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's a lot. That's a question a lot of these people should be asking themselves. But
And that's another reason that I'm happy about Black Panther, because it's gonna feel like the first Marvel movie in a long time that the discourse won't be like, who's gonna show up in this movie?
like, you're already getting Namor. That's insane. You're getting
Exactly.
this. But like another
I
thing,
believe, I won't say who, but you're getting someone else, I believe, in Black Panther as well. But the problem is, if that gets out too far, if it doesn't show up, people get mad. So that discourse is going to show up, unfortunately.
Listen, we're not talking about that person.
I'm not saying who it is.
Not,
that it's people. If people get caught up in the idea of it happening and then it doesn't happen with this one, yeah, that's going to happen again.
We are not going to allow discourse about that individual. Because I know who you're talking about.
I'm not saying it.
And nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. That person is not Black, therefore.
Neither is Namor.
He does not have to be. We do not have to make him.
What if they are Black in the MCU?
Then it changes. Then you know.
Because we don't know technically.
We don't know. Like if it happens though, but I'm saying because we don't know and because we're not talking about this person.
We're just
but if it happens, then it's everyone's. Listen, as a Black person, if this person shows up and he's Black, number one Marvel movie of all time. Number one Marvel movie of all time. Immediately, like 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, really.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like this wasn't really the discourse with Thor either. Like, yes, there was one. Well, I mean, people said the Guardians weren't in enough or whatever, but there was like this one character who some people kind of thought was going to show up that didn't show up, and that was fine. But then again, like you have certain influencer on Twitter complaining about the one post-credit scene was good because there was a cameo, and the second one wasn't good because there wasn't a cameo. And that's
nothing with that post-credit scene. Like, where's that? Are they going to do Thor 5? Like, that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee, right?
See it happening within the multiverse saga.
Yeah, like you guys.
I think he's going to be in the Avengers. I don't think he's going to be in the movie Thor 5. Will he in the multiverse saga? We don't have time for that.
It's going to be like a lot of these post-credit scenes where it's like this guy. Can I say who it is? Like it's been.
No, it's still a little early on. We're not gonna. Wait, you're talking about? Okay. You're talking about with Thor, right?
Yeah, about Thor, not Black Panther.
Yeah, it's still. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. But I mean,
it's Orko, if you know that reference.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end up being like, oh, I didn't find Thor, so now I'm just gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stop some.
Yeah. One thing that I do, I mean, and this is where sort of like cameo culture meets like what we were talking about before. I used to like it. I like the post-credit scenes more when they pointed directly to the next event or like.
I agree.
Like one event down the line,
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this whole like
the next year was gonna happen.
I don't like this whole like let's introduce a character. We never know when we're gonna see this character again.
I know.
We don't know like when the sequel's gonna happen. It's just like it's
can
just
I say
there.
can I say the names for Eternals and Doctor Strange who it was?
Yes.
Okay, so like Eros, I think his name shows up. It's Harry Styles, and it has
Eros. Star Fox.
Excited!
Yes.
Harry Styles is coming. It's like, when's he coming? What project is he gonna be in? I can't get excited yet. And same with like Clea. I mean, she's gonna be in the next Doctor Strange movie, I assume.
But when's the next Doctor Strange movie? Exactly.
Is it in the Multiverse saga even? Like, I'm not really like getting hyped for this yet. Like, it's it's just like
here. But, like, contrast that to like we just like Ragnarok, right? Like Ragnarok was really good. And then, like on its own, it was really good. And then all of a sudden, we get like Thanos' ship.
That's
like next. And now we're like, oh shit!
Like, and then like Winter Soldier had
the
twins from Age of Ultron. One movie before Age of Ultron. It was like, Guardians. So like there's that, and that was like and so it's like you can get excited. It's like it's just hard to get excited when it's like, okay, here's a character who's gonna show up in 5 years.
Like why couldn't the Thor post-credit scene tease like the Aztec god, like that's like feeding or something
or even Bast, even Bast in the Wakanda god. Like we don't know 100% like how she could potentially play a role in Wakanda Forever, but at least now we're intrigued. Now it's momentum into the next thing.
And but this has been the case for minus Spider-Man No Way Home. This has been the past 3 post-credit scenes. And,
Blorko, it's a thing. Do you know the Blorko tweet?
What was that?
Do you know the Blorko tweet?
Familiar with it.
Search Blorko if you don't know what it is. It's me, Blorko. That's what it goes. It's like, I'll read it to you guys. I'll read it on the podcast so the listeners know what I'm talking about. So basically, I think this is around Spider-Man No Way Home, which this does not happen in Spider-Man No Way Home. But it's this guy. It's like my favorite bit of Marvel films is when you sit through 9 minutes of credits to watch a 5-second clip of some guy stepping through a doorway and saying, "It's me, Blorko."
Yeah, I mean,
so that's what these few bastard credit scenes have been like. And this was December 2021, so Eternals had happened, and the next 2 Marvel movies after that, because Spider-Man came out by that point. Yup, Blorkos.
Yeah.
Granted, Thor did another one that was not a Blorko or a joke, but yeah.
Yeah, I just want them to be more creative. Like, how is it that the Ms. Marvel post-credit scene was the most effective post-credit scene of the year?
Yeah. Like, we know that's gonna continue into Captain Marvel. That got me pumped for Captain Marvel.
Into the Marvels.
Even with Moon Knight, which was relevant to Moon Knight, it's like, cool, but do we know if and when Moon Knight's coming back?
We do not.
Like, I want to know that. Like, I want him to come back. I mean, I guess he's going to come back probably for Midnight Suns. That's probably the thing.
Yeah. But you see, that was a double dip, because not only was it a Blorko, but it was a Blorko that was a cameo. It was the highly anticipated Jake Lockley that
people... They waited to the last second to bring him out, and like everyone was waiting for him the whole time. And they're like, "Yeah, Jake Lockley.
We did it! High five! We got him, Jake Lockley."
To be seen again, because this show was a limited series for the Emmys, and great.
Yeah.
No more Jake Lockley.
That would be like if
that's it from Jake.
That'd be like if in the WandaVision post-credit scene, like it was like, by the way, I am the aerospace engineer. Oh my God. Mephisto. Your aerospace engineer, Mephisto.
It was me the entire time.
It was me the entire time. And then it just ends. No more WandaVision.
Yeah. I'm not going to be in another one of these, so, it's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, do better. Do better with your post-credit scenes, Marvels.
Give me more Pizza Papa post.
No, give me no more Pizza.
I love pizza.
No.
Pizza Papa always gets paid.
No, you can only do that when if you've got a really good post-credit scene. It was like
so you can't do that.
Yeah. Like
my favorite post-credit scene in both phase, I think the second Thor one I really like, because it does kind of point towards the future. I liked the
Shang-Chi. I like the Shang-Chi post-credit scene.
Shang-Chi had some good ones. What else was there? What was this? Oh yeah, the second Eternals one was another Blorko. Basically, you don't know.
Yeah, the second Shang-Chi one was pretty good, because that's probably going to be that Shang-Chi project that.
What else? I'm trying to think of the movies and the shows. Yeah, the best one I think I still liked the end of.
Was the Black Widow? Was that a post-credit scene, or was that actually in the movie?
With the jet?
No, with Val. Was that a post-credit scene?
That's post-credits.
I mean, I don't love Val, and I feel like I felt like that whole thing with Yelena not thinking that
that Clint was responsible for.
I thought that was so silly, but it's still better than all these other ones because that was resolved.
Yes, and it led to
that
an
was
event in the same year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Good job. So yeah, that's probably one of the better ones too. Yeah.
More of that. Tease the next project.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or even a couple projects in this, but in the same year. Just give us, something that we can be like, yes, I remember that a couple months ago when we saw that.
3 acceptable post-credit scenes. Teasing the next project, teasing a project in the same year that's definitely coming out, and Pizza Puff.
Yeah. I mean, because these movies tend to have 2 post-credit scenes, I just think that one of the post-credit scenes should tease the next project, or at no more than 2 projects down the line.
Same year.
And same year.
The other can just be, I guess, whatever.
And then it's fine if the other one teases a sequel to the movie that you're watching.
Sure.
So like when the first Doctor Strange movie teased what's his name, Baron Mordo, like, but now retroactively that post-credit scene is worse because we still don't know what happens with that Baron Mordo storyline.
And also Homecoming just teasing something that was just undone by Doctor Strange doing a spell.
Yeah. What ones did I like? I liked I like the
we still haven't gotten like any payoff on the Spider-Man Far From Home scroll.
That's coming next year.
That one was
That's gonna be Secret Invasion.
Yeah. I didn't like either of those post-credit scenes.
Oh, I like those. I kind of liked Black Panthers, where you kind of see what happened when Bucky was there, because he wasn't like the big part of the movie, but we knew he was there, so it's nice to see that.
Sure.
Well,
that would set up Infinity War, basically.
Yeah, that kind of set up Infinity Wars too. Sorry, it's not Infinity Wars, it's Infinity War. I know that.
Yeah. And it was a continuation of the post-credit scene in the highly effective one in Civil War, which led into Black Panther.
Yeah.
So,
And then we got what is another good one? You said the Ragnarok one was good. I thought the Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one where they all disappear.
Oh man, that one hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah. That one hurt. What else?
Oh, the Captain Marvel one, right? Put us in the present day.
Oh yeah, it did, and then we never saw it at Endgame. It like filled in a gap from Endgame. That was weird.
Vomited the thing up, the Tesseract up.
No, that was the other post-credit scene.
Yeah. No, the one where wasn't that the post-credit scene where she's in the room with the Avengers?
Yes, that was the first one. The second one was the cat throwing up.
Yeah.
Did Captain Marvel showing up where they had the pager?
Mm-hmm.
And did that happen?
I don't think it happened in the movie.
Nope. Which I thought was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was.
Yeah, I was fine with it because we can presume that, they filled her in.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see it, but yeah. I still think the Iron Man one was really good.
The original one?
Yeah, Nick Fury.
Oh yeah, I mean that set the standard, right? That's the tell you about the Avengers Initiative. That's the gold standard. That's
yeah, that one was really good. I'm trying to remember the face.
The Captain America, the Patience one, that was good because
I'm gonna say that, but I was afraid people would be mad. But for the funny ones, I think that's my favorite funny one.
That's probably that's the gold standard.
Yeah, but the problem is that every funny one thinks it's doing that one. And they're not always. They haven't really earned that.
But some of the other good funny ones were Iron Man 3. He's telling the story to Banner. That was kind of clever. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the cat throwing up just because I like cats. You guys listening, I had my cat with me earlier, so they saw my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like cats. So I like that one.
That also explained how the Tesseract got in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s possession.
Yeah, I guess it confirmed something. Yeah, I mean, post-credit scenes can be fun. My least favorite was Loki's, as in they didn't do one, and they're because everyone forgave them because they confirmed season 2, but I'm no, I want a scene.
Yeah.
That made me upset.
But it would probably be terrible, like all these other Phase 4 ones.
I mean, yeah, but at least they would have tried.
Have we missed any of the TV show?
I mean, actually, what had the best post-credit scenes? It was in the episode. It was during the series. When he woke up in the void.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Oh,
that was actually a really good one.
That was probably just a cut from that episode that they probably just made it. That could have been in the 5th episode.
Yeah, but I like that they made a thing, and then they had the music swelling. I was yes, it's you want more, and I already wanted more. Sorry, that's still that whole episode, the one, not the void one, the one before the void. like that's my favorite episode of Marvel on Disney Plus. Like that just like really raised the state, and then the post credit scene was so good. I'm like, I just love that episode. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, a lot of the Disney Plus ones have had post credit scenes.
I mean, the Captain America Winter Soldier. I mean, sorry, the Falcon Winter Soldier one with Sharon wasn't bad.
But again, where's that coming up?
Yeah.
Somewhere. Somewhere.
Armor Wars, which we still haven't.
The infamous Armor Wars.
That joins the club of media that I'm not convinced is coming out until I'm physically watching it. It joins The Flash, it joins Morbius, it joins New Mutants from years ago. I don't think it's coming out.
So you think Armor Wars is being quietly written out?
I don't think so.
Watching it, it doesn't exist. I can have seen the trailers, but until I'm watching that show, it does not exist.
I don't know.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess we should.
Do we have anything else to say?
Final words about the Marvel?
About the Marvel. What did we think of the High Evolutionary? We got our first look at that guy.
I didn't get my first look at it, but people did.
Ooh, you saw him before?
No. What I'm saying is that I
still haven't. It's on YouTube.
Oh, it is.
It's on YouTube. Okay, yeah, they had him come out in character. So, and he did a whole speech, and he was in character. It was a thing. I feel like between this guy and like the Black Adam one, like I feel like all of them are trying to live up to like the 2013 one where Loki comes out, and like they're not gonna do it. The only the best ones were Loki and when Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man in like a crappy costume. When the actor plays their characters at a panel, like that's the best it's been. Like I don't know how you can top that. Like,
well,
I don't know if
I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna top it. At D23, Ryan Reynolds is talking about his Deadpool. And
okay, yeah, if they do that, then yeah, that I'm waiting for that. I want to see that. That'll be really good. I mean, yeah, they had my fave come out. They had Miss Minutes come out and do an introduction. Like, apparently she jump scared everybody, and I want to see that.
Oh man, yeah, I hope that makes its way to something.
I saw the end of her little talk, but I didn't see the jump scare part. But yeah, someone was predicting it like right before having like, I want Miss Minutes to make a speech, and then she did, and that was awesome.
Look, a Miss Minutes post-credit scene would be awesome.
I want it, especially because like I think her being at Comic-Con doing the speech, I feel like she's coming back.
Yeah, for sure. She's definitely coming back.
I wasn't sure if she was gonna come back, but I'm like, I want her to come back because like I know they wrote her more into Loki after like the initial explanation thing because they really just wanted her around. So like I want her back so badly. If you guys can't see listening, but I'm wearing a Miss Minutes shirt.
Yeah, it's an awesome shirt.
Yeah.
I
wore this and I was wearing my Harley Quinn shorts for DC because in honor of Comic-Con weekend, like also all the news yesterday. So I wore this shirt and my Birds of Prey Harley Quinn shorts.
Kind of hoping like Miss Minutes can be Kang's little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, like we're getting MODOK, in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and like there've obviously been like the leaks about like how he kind of fits in as like, you guys have heard like Kang's like general or whatever.
Yeah, no, I heard he's I don't know if okay, you can cut this. I'm not allowed to say. I heard he's more prominent than Kang in the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And yeah, so I hope people aren't too disappointed by that. But and I've heard more, but I'm not gonna say because that'd be definitely too spoilery. But I've heard some things that are interesting. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, someone suggested Miss Minutes should interact with Doctor Strange, and I thought that was really funny.
No, I think it would be just cool to have Miss Minutes be the Ant-Man Quantumania post-credit.
I hope so.
I feel like they'll definitely like include like an Easter egg, like we got Miss Minutes, much like Kang. Like we'll see different variants of Kang. I feel like
Miss Minutes interacting with Luis.
Oh my god,
that would be. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Be something.
I don't know. I want to see Miss Minutes interacting with people. I don't know. Can she be in Secret Wars and
So yeah, that's our nerd news for the week. I mean, we really went in on all the Comic-Con stuff. I mean, we've got some other stuff that we can kind of get into next week that I held off. But guys, thanks for
Yeah.
hanging out.
Gosh, it's
Um,
almost midnight my time here now.
I know it is. It is. We have been pushing it along. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
I
talked
think that
about this today, but for help.
listeners, you're gonna get a part two because we're gonna have to talk about racial draft business on a separate pod.
Yeah,
But what did you say?
I knew
Jen?
we were missing something.
Yeah. Only the point of the podcast. Yeah, sure. But yeah, join us. In probably 24 hours or so, as I run through all of the picks and the approvals for the last week. We are now we will be kicking off week 12 of the racial draft supplemental draft by the time you hear this podcast, listeners. And whole bunch of picks. We got some potential trades happening in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned there. And guys, Jared, the invite's always open. Anytime you want to come back, you're always welcome. Julia, you already know you're always welcome. I'm glad to have you. And some of the regulars, they'll be back. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but we're gonna get into our normal realm of racial draft shenanigans. But until next time, all things are possible.